Hey, what's up everybody? Video 44 coming at you another video. All right, day 3 of get out the house for the intention of walking down Lankershim back home is in the books. I'm doing pretty good. Went to Santa Monica again. I wasn't sure if I was gonna go to my mom's grave or not, so I didn't do a video on the way because it usually depletes my phone when I do a video and then head that way. So I decided not to, but I went even further distance to Santa Monica. Had a great time there. 69 degrees, real comfortable. Sat out there, looked on the water for a little bit, came back, man. That was it. I was not feeling good on the way there though. Feeling some type of motion sickness. I think it's from all the exertion I've been doing all this walking. Body ain't really used to it anymore. My body probably would have preferred to have laid in the house today and relaxed, try to recover. But you know, it's one of them situations where I wasn't letting it happen. So I was sitting on the train and it was moving in the opposite direction of where I was sitting. So it felt like all the inertia was headed back at my face as we're moving backwards. Definitely made for some really woozy stuff. But by the time I got to Santa Monica, sat there by the water, I was cool. I was 100%. Drank some water. On top of that, I was good. I tried something else, man. I got tired of the fake beef that I've been buying. Morningstar ground beef, veggie beef. I don't like the taste of it, to be honest with you. It's nasty. And the other two products that are the same have their own issues. Like Target's brand tastes better, but it doesn't sit well with my stomach. And there was another brand that had its own issues of its own kind. So it was like all three of the fake beefs, even though it's probably a good route for me to go, the vegan route, and eat better, it just don't taste good. To be honest with you, it tastes terrible. So I bought something else. I bought some type of shrimp jerk chicken. They had like a 2 for $10 jerk chicken shrimp, which is not really chicken, but they put the jerk sauce on the shrimp. I don't know how my body's gonna do with that, but everything else they had was like breaded and stuff. They didn't have a lot of options downtown at the Target that I went to. And they weren't selling my oatmeal either. I'm glad I'm not out, because I'd have been screwed. They didn't have any brand oatmeal, and Target brand oatmeal, their version, doesn't sit well with my stomach either. So it's a bunch of stuff I can't eat, as you guys know. So it was a swing and miss today as far as trying to purchase some things. But as I said, I'm not out of oatmeal. I still got 2 days worth of that. So I'll probably just pick some up tomorrow. But yeah, man, good day. No complaints. Feel better, a lot better. And now we're doing what the purpose of this whole thing is, which is to walk back home down Lankershim instead of catching the bus. It's really what it's all about, man. Get this extra exercise in. I've incorporated crunches into my workout at the end of the night. I started with 70. I did 71 last night. I'll do 72 tonight and keep on increasing. At one point, I think I had gotten as high as like 130 or 140 or something like that. Nothing too serious with crunches in the past, but working that into the equation. And yeah, man, just trying to do what I have to do to get back in shape, man. I don't like how I'm looking right now. I got to change that. You know, that's really what it comes down to. You got to put the effort in and let the results be the results. I know I ain't been eating poorly. I know I haven't stopped doing some of my heavy lifting and push-ups and stuff like that. And my hundreds, as I call them, squats. None of that stuff is out of my diet. I mean, out of my process. So it's just about me adding more to it, making sure I'm getting a healthy walk in for the sweat, and then everything else should be cool from there. You know what I mean? That's really what it comes down to. Just knowing what I have to do and doing it. So let that be encouragement to you to get started. Maybe you don't start with 70 crunches. Maybe you only start with 4, depending on who you are. Maybe you start with 400, depending on who you are. But for me, it's all about getting started and then increasing as comfortably as you feel like increasing. It's really what it came down to. That's what it comes down to, rather. So just add. But yeah, man, some stuff going on, I guess. Nothing in my life, but of course we always talk about Gaza. I've been cutting into the Zionists every day, as you guys know. If you've been following me, I don't cut them no slack. As long as they're killing babies, they deserve to be blasted every day on everyone's content. To be honest with you, I don't know that I would change anything. If I were talking about the Lakers, I probably wouldn't bring it up, but in any other type of content that I would otherwise do, This is what's going on in the world, man. This is what's happening in your world, man. People are killing babies, your government's fine with it, and they're using your money to do it. It's nonsense. It's absolute lunacy. It's chaotic. It's irresponsible, and it's evil, and we got to do something about it, man. And this is my way of doing something. I can't, you know, everybody has their own way of doing things. Some people are boots on the ground, go straight to DC, sit down and protest. The great Aaron Bushnell sacrificed his life in very, very horrific fashion to raise awareness for this. You know what I mean? Like, literally. Hell, maybe your way is something different. Maybe your way is donating. Maybe you don't have a voice out there, but you can put your money into some of these programs that are ultimately intentional on getting money to the people who are suffering these ills. You know, whatever you got to do, man. If you give a damn about what it is we're talking about, do get involved, man. Get involved. I don't have these conversations on my channel just to vent. I'm trying to raise awareness, and I'm trying to encourage people to be encouraged about standing up against the status quo, standing up against the establishment that means harm to an entire race of people. Just like they meant mine during slavery and civil rights, now they mean the Palestinians. And I'm not going to sit back and chill just because it's not pointed at me right now. You understand what I'm saying? That's the gift and the curse of having that be your history. They erased my entire history, man. I can only go back as far as the 1800s in certain lineage aspects of my family tree. For me, because I have Caucasian in my family tree, there are certain branches that go all the way back to the 1500s, 1400s and beyond. I could have kept digging if I wanted to continue to find out who my white ancestors were. But as far as my black ancestors, they only go back so far, man. And that was deliberately done by individuals who wanted to erase everything about us and replace it with some tame genocide fine with type of energy that's looking to be a worker bee and overspend money. That's what they wanted to turn black people into. You know, fighting hard for their cause, while their cause is to continue things as normal, picking and choosing throughout the course of time who they want to see survive and who they don't give a damn about. And I'm just not gonna pretend like because it's not pointed at me, I get to dance around and thank them for the mercy. Ain't no mercy. If they were showing mercy, it'd be mercy toward everybody. Don't have me sitting up here looking at a genocide and then spitting in my face and telling me it's raining. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how many of y'all going for that, but I'm not going for that. Now, if you're just not aware of what it is that I've been paying attention to, that's one thing. I've been trying to encourage people to get involved with Instagram and Telegram, even though they arrested the Telegram guy lately. France then arrested him for not doing a better job of monitoring what's illegal on his platform, but really what they're doing is arresting him because he's raising awareness for Palestine. But that's a whole nother story. The point is, these are the platforms from which I get my information. Telegram. There's a guy by the name of, I think his name is Mo_Maz, M-A-Z, I believe that's how you say it. And this guy is really passionate. I think he's an ex-rugby player. Whole lot of energy in the guy. He's Palestinian, and he goes hard for his people, man. He's willing to show us things that are otherwise get him taken off Instagram. The images that I've seen, he will make it so that you see those images and are prepared for it as he gets you into that process throughout the course of the post that he posts. So he's also somebody I really encourage everybody to pay attention to, man. Mo_Maz, M-A-Z, I believe it is. Great guy, man. Great guy. A lot of passion. He don't mind cussing, so if cussing's not your thing, you probably don't want to follow him too much. But I encourage everybody to pay attention to what he posted today, specifically on August 21st. Man, was it powerful. Basically, he was telling a story about some individuals who had a daughter who was very healthy, and then over the course of time, she ended up contracting hepatitis, which ended up having her need to be moved out of there, obviously, so she could be properly treated. And then the systematic hurdles that were deliberately in place by Israel so that she couldn't get what she needed, and she died a slow, painful death of something that could otherwise been treated. And she is one of many people, young children, old people, and all these different types of up and down the age brackets that have all died from treatable diseases because it's just what Israel wants to do to them, quite literally. You know, stuff that even some of you Zionists, if you heard these stories, it would make you pause a little bit. Even if you hate Hamas and you don't give a damn about Palestinians, it's the way that y'all going about allowing these people to die. That's very creative, man. And I tell you, that's the word I want to use, because I've mentioned it before. These are torture artists, Israel. And who's their think tank? Whoever's behind what they're doing, they're coming up with new ways, creative, artistic ways to torture the minds and bodies of these people. You know, they depraved cigarette smokers for the last 200 days of cigarette smoke, and now they're talking about dropping cigarettes in certain areas and telling people to bring them information on other people who are in their community in exchange for their cigarettes, when they know these people have been depraved of what it is they're obviously addicted to. Not to mention that that's one more thing that can kill them. That's one more thing that they can kill their families with secondhand smoke. Like, they're very creative about how they're going about torturing and killing these people. It's not just murder. It's about how creative and torturous can we be? What can we come up with in our creative minds that can bring forth pain and despair to these people? Like, that's literally what Israel's on, man. And that's why I want people to understand, like, you got to follow people online who are willing to tell you the truth, because the Western media is bought and paid for. Your government is bought and paid for. And they really are intentional on allowing Israel to run amok and doing whatever it is that they're doing, and they're going to continue to paint it out as if it's fine. But I'm telling you, you're talking about torture artists. Nothing normal, man. They're creating new ways to inflict pain on people, and thus that information will go to sick minds, and those sick minds will copy this and do it to other people in different places as well. They are creating things that will be duplicated. So it's like, listen, it reminds me, for those of y'all who know of Wu-Tang and Method Man, you remember that interlude that they have on the Wu-Tang Clan album, the first one, I think it's Into the 36 Chambers, where he's like, I torture you, I pick your eyeballs out, or whatever the hell he says in there. It's sort of like they have that type of mind. They're creating new ways to torture these people, man, but in real life. So it's like, for people who are not aware of this, and you don't know this is happening, you need to get on top of the game, man, because like I said, you're not going to get the truth from your media. You're not going to get the truth from your government. They're going to lie about this. They're going to downplay it. They're going to tell you the good guy's the bad guy. They're going to tell you the bad guy's the good guy. And what you're going to end up finding out is they're the bad guys eventually. If you go down that rabbit hole, you go down that Palestinian rabbit hole, find out what's actually happening there, and you will lose trust for your government. You will lose trust for some of the people who are in your media. You will lose trust for a lot of these individuals whose willingness to be corrupt have been displayed so very openly within this circumstance. This is a true north for the truth about what it is that's over us, underneath us, and ultimately around us. And that's the context that needs to be understood by those who are not paying attention to this. It is why people are so radical about free Palestine. It's why, when you understand what's going on there, you will likely become radical too. Many of y'all just need to know what's going on, man. It ain't even about whether or not you would support. As soon as you start getting an understanding of the different stories that are taking place here, your heart will be ripped out of your chest, and it won't even be about support. You will want to live and die to see this end. That's what I know. Many of you who have not been subjected to the truth about that situation have no idea how much purpose you will soon find when you start finding out exactly what's going on there, how much your tax dollars and how much your compliance to your government has to do with it, and what you could do to change it if you come together and start that process, man. It is important that you understand that you are going to be traumatized literally traumatized by what it is you're going to expose yourself to. But it's just a small fraction of what these people are going through, and it's a small price to pay for the greatness that can come out of exposing yourself to the truth about what these people are doing to those people. You traumatizing yourself with the images of children unalived and raising an awareness within yourself and your communities about this circumstance and what you can do about it. I think many people will find that their life's purpose is going to be within what it is that they're willing to do about this situation. Some of y'all are living, don't even know why. Some of y'all are alive right now and you can't seem to figure out what the hell you want to do with your life. You haven't found your calling because some of y'all's calling is wrapped up in you understanding certain things that you don't get about the atrocities going on in this world. And once you start finding out these things, you're going to find yourself nestled in your purpose. I kid you not. I kid you not. Some of y'all think y'all living for certain things until you find out what you're really passionate about. And what you're going to find you're really passionate about is the stuff that's been suppressed from your eardrums. They don't want you to know about these things. They don't want you to know how much you have to do with what's going on there, how much you're paying into what's going on there, and then find out just how wicked and creative they've been about torturing these people, how small these children are that are losing their lives in some unreal, cruel ways. The word genocide does not do it justice, man. You got to know about the stories of these individuals, and then you got to see the things that all of us who've been paying attention to it are seeing, because we get to see the goodness in the hearts of the people they're doing it to. You do some of this stuff to anybody, it's bad, but when you start finding out the people they're doing it to are good people, solid human beings, that's when you're like, all right, man. And that's the part that people don't understand as well. Palestinian people, they got a lot of good-hearted people over there with good morals and integrity. That's what I've come to realize and come to grow to appreciate. They ain't just doing this to just any old group of people, or some of them don't have no. These are some of the best people on the earth. People who would give you the shirt off their back. People who would come protest against what's going on to you. These are the people they're doing this to. I'm telling you. That's the context that's missing. How much you should care about who they're doing this to. Once you find out they're doing this to great people, then you become angry. You see what I'm saying? That's what we've come to understand on this side of the fence, those of us who've been paying attention to this. They're not doing this to people that deserve it. They're doing this to people who wouldn't have done nothing to them, who likely would have gave them the shirt off their back, just like the Native Americans were willing to do. And they annihilated them for their kindness as well. This is the same thing all over again. That's what I want people to understand. That's what's missing. That's the context missing from the average American today. The average UK member today, the average Canadian person today doesn't realize how awesome the people of Palestine actually are. How much integrity they have. And granted, there's good and bad everywhere. You're going to find some Palestinian people that ain't no good. You're going to find some Palestinian people that are racist. You know, they're there. But what I'm telling you is the culture from which they come from speaks to the normality of integrity, respecting women, raising children to be of good character. Like, this stuff is more known to be normal in their society than it is in ours. And because they're from humble beginnings where they've had everything taken from them, they don't need a lot. These are people that can find happiness under the rubble. After the buildings have come down, they're still finding ways to cook their food. These people are strong. If you saw the living conditions that they're living under, buildings destroyed, foundations uplifted, places that they've lost individuals on the stairwell. They laying their head next to that stairwell where bodies were not even properly picked up from their loved ones. Like, it's not like somebody's coming around with a coroner's truck picking up dead people. These dead people that they knew and loved, some of them their mothers and fathers, they had to pick up their bodies themselves, put them in bags. And these aren't people who died of of regular stuff. These are people who died in horrific and traumatizing ways. Brains over there, body over there, parts, some of them children. Like, if you understood what's happening to these people and how little they deserved what's happening to them, then you would get why so many people are adamant about interrupting your DNCs and your RNCs with Free Palestine. It's not just a talking point that people come around to throw into the air because they want to fit in. If anything, doing so will make it so that you fit out, so that you're outcasted. Because obviously nobody wants to raise awareness in this in places where otherwise awareness is found. It ain't gonna be your politicians that's telling the truth about these Palestinian people. They're doing this to great humans, man. And I don't think I've done a good enough job of letting you guys know that. I don't think I've done a good enough job of doing that. I've been telling you what they've done to these people, but I haven't pointed out how awesome these people are. And I hope that I was able to paint out just a small fraction of what it is I've come to understand about their people. You understand? That's what I'm trying to get people to get today. That they're doing this to innocent people, that they're doing this to solid individuals, people with integrity, people who believe in God, people who are resilient to the maximum, and they're making them suffer. And they're failing to break their wheel, man. Making them walk for the entire duration of a land, like you have to walk from one side of Texas to the next type stuff. Bombing them all the way through, not giving them proper water. You got the citizens and of Israel who are settlers trying to break into trucks that ultimately hold the aid that they need to save themselves from sheer torture. Wonderful people dying horrible deaths, man. You understand what I'm saying to you? Young children, tiny babies, premature babies dying of treatable diseases. Like, I'm telling you, man, this is the worst thing that we have ever seen in our lives, man. And many of you haven't seen it, and your favorite candidate is going to either downplay it, not talk about it at all, or speak it as if it ain't even happening. Your entire Congress is behind this. They know what's happening. They know what they're doing. They know who they're doing it to. And they're intentional on continuing on this path that is wickedness, y'all. I know it's scary to think about this in this way. But like I said, for those of us who've been paying attention, we've long passed that phase. We've long passed that phase of wondering whether or not we can trust these people. We've long passed that. It's long past that, man. And so that's what I want to tell y'all, man. A lot of y'all about to go down a scary path of coming to understand that everything you've ever known is bullshit. The people behind your favorite TV shows are behind this. The people behind your favorite talk shows, they supported this. Some of your favorite football teams, the owners, they are part of this. And they say the Jews own Hollywood. This is that. These are those people. That's why nobody's talking about the atrocities they're doing. You're allowing them to do it because of the power that they have. You got to speak to that power from within this position that doesn't have it in order to hold them accountable for their evil and dark habits of valuing themselves over others and ultimately being this creatively deviant against a specific type of people. This is what they're doing. This is who is doing it to you. Some of your favorite comedians. You understand what I'm saying? They're with this. They know what's happening. They do not have a heart for what's right in this situation. By way of what it is they believe in their Talmud, and I'm telling the truth, by way of what it is in their Bible, which is known as the Talmud, they believe they have a right to do evil things to people they do not like, regardless if they deserve it or not. This is what needs to be understood. They have dark beliefs, and one of those beliefs is that they should not let us know what those beliefs are. That's key to the Talmud. Don't let all of us know that it's in there, because then we will weaponize otherwise against them And they can't let that happen. But the cat's out of the bag, though. Now we're seeing why they wanted to keep all of that, those thoughts in-house. Why they didn't necessarily want us to know that we are viewed this way by them. They think they have a right to steal from you. They think they have a right to kill you. They think they have a right to do horrible things to small children sexually. This is a fact. This is in the book that they read. The Zionist book. Like, y'all need to understand this. They teach this to one another and they keep it from the rest of us. It is demonic in nature. And they have changed the definition of what demonic means, so that good is evil and evil is good. And they move as if that is understood and supposed to be valid in the eyes of everybody, including all of us. And it's just not. The dark, twisted, deviant beliefs of these individuals is bled into how they are viewing, labeling, and ultimately treating the Palestinian people. It is why they're so deviant. It's why they believe they are victims in this situation, because of what it is that they truly believe to their souls. It's shit that they believe. It would then paint them out to be victims, even in being the deviant, aggressive monsters that they are. They are the darkness of us. They are the worst of us. It's them. It's been them. It's going to be them until we do something about them. And that's the God's honest truth. And anybody that doesn't agree with that hasn't gone far enough down the rabbit hole. Anybody that doesn't agree with that is likely a monster too. Because there's nothing a logical mind that's raised in this land with the things that we believe in, the things we tell each other we believe in. There's no way anybody within those circumference of moral values would align with the truth of what it is that they're doing. There's no way. There's zero way that you would do that. They got to effectively hide from you the truth. And once you start breaking down the logic and what it is that they do, it is revealed to you. That ultimately it just comes down to them believing that they have a right to do horrible things to people that they do not like. Period. It is that simple, bro. And regardless of why they don't like them, they're not holding themselves accountable for deeming those they do not like as individuals that reflect the character they provide. That's the key to all this. They are not looking at the people they don't like and saying, I don't like them because they're bad people. They're saying, I don't like them because I want their land and they won't let me have it. You see what I'm saying? They're not judging them by the content of their character. They're judging them by the exhaustion of themselves and the resistance to that exhaustion. I believe I deserve your land. I came here to take it from you. You don't want me to have it, so we have problems. That is all that is. And many of y'all would not go for that in your own lives. In no way, shape, or form would you go for that shit. Especially if it came from somebody that looked like me. You would blow me down. You would stab me. You would put me in the ground, and rightfully so for taking what you have. But the Palestinians don't have that right against the Talmudic Zionist Jews. Make it make sense. Tell me your ego wouldn't want to hurt these people for doing the stuff that was done to the Palestinians if they were done to you. Lie to me and tell me you wouldn't want to defend your household if I came over there with a bunch of homies and said, this is my house now. My Bible tells me that God left me this land, so you got to get the hell up out of here. You, your sick son, your grandmama who only got but so much time left, all of y'all got to go in exile. And I'm doing weird stuff to y'all. And I'm taking your clothing, your wife's clothing, I'm putting it on. I'm taking your child's bike and I'm riding around on it. I'm taking his little guitar and I'm playing my little whatever evil song and then busting that thing up against the wall. I'm taking your food. You understand what I'm saying? I'm taking your recipes and I'm calling it my own. Like, these are the things that Israel did to these people. And there that they would resist that. Made it so that they don't like these people and everything that came after that. It's history in books. I'm telling y'all, man, this is some of the most wicked shit you will ever pay attention to in your life. You couldn't write this stuff that they're doing to these people, man. And many of y'all have a lot of pride in your people. You have a lot of pride in your heart about what it is that you would not allow somebody to do. Men that have pride about their family, you wouldn't dare let a man come in and take your house. Well, I'm telling you that's exactly what they did to these people. They came in their house, took everything, treated them bad, and dared them to do something about it. And when they did, they inflicted all the most incredibly creative ways of putting pain upon these people they possibly could. And then they told everybody who was paying attention it wasn't happening. And they were, in fact, defending themselves. Which is a bold-faced lie. Defending their willingness to do evil and the demands upon those who they're doing the evil to not resist. They're abusers. They're bullies. They're terrorists. This is what the Zionists truly are about. This is who they really are. Underneath their mental gymnastics and tired, repetitive ideas about how they're going to manipulate all of us into believing something happened on October 7th and made all of this justified. As if they weren't doing this stuff to these people for 75 years before October 7th even happened. 75 years they tortured these people. 75 years they made them feel like third class and fourth class citizens. 75 years they depraved these people of water and power and different things. 75 years they were randomly picking these people up and doing weird stuff to them. Hostages. That's exactly what they did to these people. Good people. That's what you need to understand. They weren't doing this to a bunch of bad guys. They were doing this to good people. And they were expecting that people like me would not care, man. Like I wouldn't be so invested because it's going on over there. Because it's politics or some weird shit. Like my ego is going to let them do evil to children. You understand what I'm saying? Like I'm going to sit here and watch that shit and not say nothing. I don't know about the rest of y'all, but I'm not with it. I'm never going to be with it. And that's how I feel, man. And that's how a lot of people feel. And that's how people are going to wake up to feel when they start understanding what's happening there. Many people ain't going to do nothing because they only care about what happens to them. And that's your business, man. If you want to go down as that type of person, you came, you left, you were forgotten. But as for me, I'm not rolling. I'm not rolling. While they want me to be mad at my own brother or my brown brothers, I know better. I know who's behind all of this oppressing all of us, and it's them. Same ones that are doing this to the Palestinians. They're controlling a lot of things. A lot of things. And I'm supposed to be too wrapped up in my ability to climb to the top of the capitalistic totem pole to actually care about that, but that's not how I'm wired. That's not how I'm wired, man. You don't get to do that to people who I know are good people and me not say nothing. That's not how I'm wired. I'm not fearful in that way, man. I'm gonna die of something anyway, bro. Be damned if I die on my knees. You understand what I'm saying? It's not gonna happen. I'd rather them take me out for speaking the truth than to die on my knees as somebody who was afraid to stand up for children. You understand what I'm saying? All of us call ourselves humanitarians and all different types of stuff, but we won't stand up to this? That's crazy. We're too compromised, or we're too warped, or we're too evil in our own individual lives, and we can't step up and say, yo, bad people are being harmed by us and our tax dollars, and we can do something about it if we just step up and say something. And we don't want to do that, huh? It's crazy to me, man. I don't even get it. I don't even get it. Not to mention that a lot of us are from circumstances that we can relate to people imposing their evil ways upon our people. Many of us can. Not just black people. A lot of y'all know how it feels to have something snatched from you. A lot of y'all know what it feels like to be treated poorly, to be manipulated against so that you fighting your brothers and your sisters. Many of y'all know what that feel like. So that you would let somebody do that to somebody else. I feel like I'm getting my pound of flesh for what they did to my people by standing up against them for what they're doing to these people. And that you don't feel that way is weird to me, to be straight up and down with y'all. I don't get it. That Stockholm shit didn't work on me. I don't really care that much about them like that. To be sitting up here holding their secrets as they're doing all this evil stuff to these kids. Nah, man. No. Good for our country. It's not good for our country. It's irresponsible for the future of our country and our reputation going forward that we didn't speak up and speak out and do something. And many of us didn't put ourselves in a position to stand for what has already been done, let alone for what's possible next in regards to this genocide. How many more people gotta die? Man, please. You think I'm gonna sit up here and be chill with that? Oh yeah, well, just go about business as usual? Hell no. While they sit up here lying in my face as I'm paying attention to what they're doing behind these people's back, lying to each and every one of these citizens. Get up out of here. That's what's happening, man. A lot of y'all are evil, so you don't care. But many of y'all are just brainwashed. And I'm telling you, this Palestinian thing is going to be the thing that unwashes your brain. Paying attention to this Palestinian situation and learning about the Israel of 2024 is going to really wake a lot of y'all up out of this nightmare y'all in. And you're going to know exactly what you are allowing to happen and what your legacy will be as time progresses and people look back on who allowed this to happen, who paid for it, who didn't give a damn, who did. Nah, no. A lot of y'all will not have the excuse of saying you didn't know when there was so many people like myself making videos like this. No, you gonna know you knew what happened. I won't let you sit by idly and tell your grandkids that you had no idea. No, you knew. And the paper trail is there for a lot of y'all. All these purchases y'all making in all these Israeli companies, the paper trail is there. We've talked about that. A lot of y'all don't get to pretend like you didn't know. And y'all grandkids and y'all great-grandkids gonna shun all of y'all for it too. Why didn't you do something about this? You let these people do this? You let these people torture the children, blow them in pieces, and you didn't do nothing about it? You didn't step up because of the status quo, because it wasn't wavy or whatever stupid shit you want to say? That's a huge mistake in regards to how you gonna go down in history. A lot of y'all have microwave minds, and that's fine. You were raised to be microwave headed, but believe me, time still passes forward whether you process that time in a regular speed or not. And I'm telling you, 100 years from now, it's only going to be those of us who spoke up like this that are going to age well, that are going to go down as honorable men and women. There's many of y'all who are not honorable, man. Many. I'm trying to save y'all from that by painting this picture. Motaz Aziz, I don't know how to say his name. Motaz, M-O-T-A-Z, A something. I don't know how to pronounce it correctly, but he's been telling us since the beginning what's happening over there. By Pletsa, I believe is her name. I can never get these people's name correctly, unfortunately, but I'm trying to remember their names so you know at least some direction from which to look, to what to Google, what to use your IG platform and try to find. Pletsa, I believe her name is. You need to find her. Y'all need to know who that is. Wizard Basan 1. Y'all need to know who that is. You understand what I'm saying? Code Pink. Y'all got to know who that is. Medea and them. Y'all need to know who those people are. They stand up for the right things. They go down in history as individuals who tried. Who tried, man. People from our land who benefited, in some cases, Medea's case, who benefited from a lot of what goes on here, still not standing for it, man. Not allowing it to happen on her watch. And then you're going to look around at all the people who call themselves humanitarians who didn't do nothing about this. Child protective service groups that didn't do nothing about this. Feminist groups who didn't give a damn about Palestinian women. Many. I'm telling y'all, it's many, y'all. It's many who say they stand for the right things, but are deep in the pockets of the Israel lobby groups, funded by Israel people, founded by Israeli people, so that they could have the environment for which to get away with this. Like I said, I thought this personally was struck in, but they decided to do this at a certain time when they had everything aligned so that they could get away with it. The UN is in their pockets, our government's in their pockets, the surrounding Arab nations, governments are in their pockets. They did this when they had it lined up so right that nobody who could hold them accountable would hold them accountable. I will give them that. They found a way to compromise basically the entire world so that they could do this without being held accountable for it. But they didn't take into account that people like me don't give one damn about any of that. How much money they got, how much they control, how much harm they can do to me. I am more interested in being one cog to the machine that drowns them all. I am not confused by the labels they put on people like me to say I'm anti-Semitic and then I'm screaming out blood libels. I am not confused by their mental gymnastics. I'm not moved by that. My true north is the Lord. I am not interested in them. I know compassion is my true north. I know that. I'm not waiting for the preacher man to tell me whether or not these people should be struck against for the evil that they do. I'm from a religion, the Christianity religion, where we were told. My mother told me that Jews were God's chosen people. I know how deep that evil goes. You understand what I'm saying? I am a Christian who was raised to believe they were chosen. I don't give a shit. You don't get to do this to people. Even if you are chosen, though you are not, that was a lie. But even if you were, you don't get to do this. You don't get to do this. Not without resistance, not without credible credence being applied to the notion that you can't survive doing this. Not without us trying to take you out. I don't care if I'm the only one. That's the reality of it. I could be the only person speaking about this and I would still speak about this with my channel. Why? Because you don't get to do this to children, fam. I don't care who you are. I don't care who you are. That's what it comes down to. You can't garner enough power to silence me in regards to you being able to do this while I'm watching. You can't. You can take over new worlds and I'll still speak on you doing this. You understand what I'm saying? Zionists don't have enough power to obtain to silence somebody like myself who's been witness to the pain that they've inflicted upon innocent children and people. You don't have enough power. There ain't enough power out there. You can have it all. It ain't going to stop me from saying this. You understand what I'm saying? That's the God's honest truth. There's not enough wealth in the world that you can buy me off for something like this. There's not enough safety you can guarantee me that will buy me off for something like this. Nothing you can do. Because the truth about you terrorizing babies is worth more to me than anything I can receive in this world. Or anything that can otherwise be taken from me in this world. So we're clear. I'd die 1,000 times to bring truth to light about what it is they've done after what I've seen. That's what you need to know about me. I've seen kids with their heads blown off. I saw dead children this morning. I saw a dead girl this morning with her eyes wide open. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Good luck getting me off of this hill, man. Good luck. And that's what I'm here to tell y'all, and I'm not alone. I'm not alone, and I'm not confused. BDL44, I thank y'all for watching. I'm out.